So Frank, here we are, celebrating Ireland having 11 golf courses in the recently published Golf Digest World Top 100 Courses. Quite an incredible achievement. I was looking up Wikipedia earlier on, and Ireland has 0.06% of the world's population. That's very small. And we have 11% of the Golf Digest World Top 100 Courses, so that's quite incredible. So obviously great news for Ireland. It coincides with Rory McIlroy going back to number one in the world.
Absolutely, And in terms of golf courses and what great golf courses we have here on this small little island, I think an awful lot of people worldwide are still not aware of the fantastic golf courses we have here. I think Scotland seems to get the name through the history of the game. But Ireland, I mean, our golf courses rate every bit as good.
Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot here. So let's start with Tralee. Favourite hole at Tralee?
Tralee, I love the 8th hole on the front nine. It's a dogleg right to left, across the sea, across the corner of the Atlantic. I love the 12th hole. It is more away from the sea, but very challenging, dogleg left to right, going the other direction. Ballybunion are without doubt the 11th hole. It's called Tom Watson. It's a steamroller with the coast, the Atlantic on your right hand side, through a bottleneck into the green. It's a fantastic hole, about 400 from the back tee. In fact, the new back tee now is probably about 490 yards thereabouts.
Waterville, favourite hole?
Waterville, my favourite hole in Waterville, it's going to be a par 3. It's going to be Mulcahy's Peak, 17th. It's the highest part of the golf course. The tee is the highest. You see an entire 360 degrees the whole way around. The scenery is fantastic. The hole itself is about 200 yards. Again, all carried to get to the green. Great hole.
A graveyard for golf balls. That's what it is.
A graveyard. Mention graveyards. I mean, how many graveyards have we bordering links courses in Ireland? If you stand onto the first tee in Ballybunion, and there are more balls that hit the graveyard than do hit the first fairway.
Is that the reason why the graveyard's full?
Well, yeah, it could be.
The Hinch, favourite hole?
6th hole, par 4, up to you carry up to the top of the hill, and then you turn left, sharp dogleg with the Atlantic in the background. It's a terrific hole. Great par 4.
Down in the same neck of the woods, Old Head of Kinsale. Spectacular course.
Old Head, I would go for the 12th. It's a par 5. It's got a sheer drop down to the Atlantic again, with caves jutting through the wall, if you like, the stone wall down along the left hand side, and you have to carry across the corner. And very challenging hole. It's about 550. I would strongly recommend 3 shots. Don't try to take on if you do get your drive in the right position, don't attempt the second shot. Lay up, and it gives you a relatively straightforward shot into the green. Great hole.
Favourite hole in Doonbeg?
Doonbeg, the first hole is a very nice, welcoming par 5 onto the golf course. I like it. It shouldn't be too difficult to hole, I think, the first hole, and it isn't. But it's plenty of room off the tee. But it gives you fantastic scenery off the tee. You see the Atlantic all along the left-hand side, and it's a nice, challenging par 5.
In the Dublin area, we have Pat Ruddy's European Club.
I mean, the European Club is a fantastic golf course. My favourite hole in the European would probably be the 7th. It's called Arnold Palmer. Pat Ruddy, who designed the course himself, names a lot of his favourite holes after some of his favourite players. So the King was the one that he chose for the 7th hole, which is out of bounds all along the right hand side. Quite a tight tee shot. And then on the left hand side you've got a kind of a marshy pond on the left. So again, if you get your tee shot on the right spot, it's still a challenging second shot to get at the green. Great hole.
And in the staying with the Dublin area, Portmarnock has been
15th.
long regarded a classic course.
Absolutely,
so 15th,
15th hole, par 3, close on 200 yards from the back tee, with the Irish Sea all along the right hand side and a fall off on the left. If you hit that green with your tee shot, you've hit a very good shot.
We're moving up into Northern Ireland for the highest ranked courses, actually. So Portrush.
I'd go for Calamity. It's known as Calamity for a reason. It's got that name. It's a par 3. It's now
the 16th.
It's now the 16th hole. It's got the chasm if on the right hand side, a sheer drop down there. There's a small little drop fall off area on the left hand side, a safe shot, and they call it Lochs Hollow.
And it's near where Port Stewart hosted the Irish Open.
I love the first hole in Port Stewart. There isn't a better opening hole in the country. Par 4 off a high tee, great view of the Atlantic again on the right hand side. It's left to right dog leg, and you need to hug as close on the right hand side as possible, which is the side of the danger. Plenty of room on the left, but it makes it much longer. And it's a lovely open hole, great hole.
So I've saved the best to last. So Royal County Down, number 1 last time out. It's retained its number 1 position. So favourite hole?
Ninth. It's probably the most photographed hole in the world. You tee off a relatively low tee, blind tee shot. Not great that it's a blind tee shot. You go over a rise at the top of the hill, and you just are in awe of the fantastic view that you have, looking down towards the green.
Or you're trying to look for your golf ball.
Or let the caddy look after that. You just enjoy the scenery, and you've got the mountains of Mourne in the background. It's a fantastic hole.
It is pretty special. So I'm going to put you further on the spot. So if you could only play one of these courses again, which one would you choose?
That's not a fair question. Not a fair question, Joe.
So you've one game of golf.
Actually, I'll tell you what, and this just proves the point we made at the start. I would probably bring in another course here that you haven't even mentioned, and it's County Sligo, Ross's Point, bit in the northwest, which actually has fantastic golf courses up in Donegal, Paul McGinley area. Wonderful golf courses up there: Ballyliffin, Port Salam, Rossapena, Morva, Nernan Portnew. I could list them off for you. Enniscrone, and the one I just mentioned, Ross's Point.
So I think what we're getting to here is that for the world top 100 courses, they should all be Irish. Yeah?
Bring that number up towards 20% rather than 10%.
But you're absolutely right. There's so many courses, and you could argue, for a few to be included or excluded. But we're very lucky to have the
absolutely
the we have.
Together with the golf courses, you have everything else that you want. You've got the food, you've got the accommodation, you've got the as we call it, the crack over here, the fun element, and I know a lot of our visitors over here enjoy nice whiskey. We have plenty of that too.
Well, I think we're probably number 1 when it comes to crack as well, and probably whiskey too. So thanks, Frank. Thanks for the chat.
You're more than welcome.
Thank you.
Good talking to you, Joe.